Here we go, boys. Welcome back to another episode of the Vault Studio podcast. JA, top left corner there. Georgia Boy, top right. I'm in the bottom.
Yeah, the boys.
Mr. 5 for 5. We're here, boys.
Brocky.
Week 4's done.
Hey, quick shout out to Red Cup Betting straight off the top. Bloody
outstanding.
Masterful stuff there, Brocky.
Thank you very much. Every Sunday, me and DS love catching up with the old man. So it's actually really good just to have a banter with him. He laughs at my picks and he goes 2 for 5. So who's really talking now? But let's get stuck into the show, boys. Week 4, shout out. We love seeing Aussies in the league. Shout out to Brad Wing for getting signed at the Steelers. Love to see it.
We absolutely love Aussies in the league. Shout out to all the Aussies. Brad Wing, congrats. Well done.
Perfect. So let's get stuck into this, boys. We're just going to do a little quarter season review.
Quarter season review. I'm excited. I'm excited for this. I want to see how our picks look. How our picks sort of play from the start of the season. How they're looking 4 weeks in. I reckon they're going to look like dog shit, personally.
I'll get them up so I can look at it.
Shit, yeah. So let's start with the AFC, boys.
Start with the AFC. Beautiful.
AFC. We'll start with the North. I had the Ravens. Jay had the Bengals, and Georgia Boy had the Bengals as well. If you look at the
looking like dog shit.
If we look at the currently, the Ravens are 3-1, Steelers 2-2, Browns 2-2, and the Bengals are 1-3. James,
the Bengals are really struggling, aren't they?
What's your opinion, mate? What are you going to give me? What's your spin zone here?
The biggest shock of this, and it's not even fucking hard, is the Bengals being 1-3.
Of course,
I thought they got back on track, and this is the problem, right? And we talk about team building all the time and how you build teams the right way, and we use good examples of that. The Bengals are a very poor example of how to build championship teams. I'm not saying they're not a team that can win a championship, but they're built backwards. They're built with talented skill position. And everyone needs a good quarterback. It's you have to have that.
Obviously,
but they've got no offensive line. They cannot block for Burrow. Now that his calf is dinged up, he has zero mobility. He can't move at the moment. He normally has good mobility.
One of his great strengths is that he can move the pocket and move out of the pocket, extend the play to get the ball downfield to Chase and all those guys. And if you take that off him, it's actually a pretty significant weapon that he doesn't have at his disposal.
Well, all of a sudden, all these big plays that he used to get. So what the defenses are doing now is saying, well, you know what? We can pressure him. We don't have to play as tight a coverage because we can pressure him. So Jamar Chase, and the only who did they play week 3 that they beat? I can't remember now. That's the only game they've been able to get explosive plays over.
They beat the Rams.
Yes, because the Rams aren't a good pass rushing team. So that was other than Donald, obviously, but you double Donald. But that's the one game they were able to get big plays or some big plays to win the football game. Their defense is still playing well. I just don't think I don't think they can turn it around. Like they're 1-3. They will need to win. You'll need to win 10 games to make the AFC playoffs. You'd have to.
Yeah. You have to.
Like looking at it now where you've got, just looking at the whole thing, you've got Buffalo and Miami are 3-1. Like all of the South is super competitive. And then you've got Kansas City. We know the Chargers have had their troubles, but it looks like they've found their feet the last couple of weeks. They started 0-2 and they've turned it around the last couple of weeks.
We'll get to them as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of good teams. And then not to mention Baltimore are now a 3-1 in the division. Lamar's playing without Odell Beckham. He's only had him for the first game, I think. He's playing without Bateman, and he's still balling out. He looks like the MVP, Lamar. So he's back. He looks comfortable. The O-line's better. They're running the ball well.
When he's not injured.
So he looks 10 times better. And then you've got Cleveland and Pittsburgh's defense, which are fucking out there. But I know Pittsburgh had an awful loss this week, but their defense for Cleveland and Pittsburgh have both played really well, and that's going to be an issue for Cincinnati, who have got to play them 3 times. They're going to play those teams, Pittsburgh twice and Cleveland once. So they've got 3 games there.
It's a pressure division. You need to get pressure up front, and Joe Burrow's already been sacked 8 times this year. Highest was 51, and
he can't get away.
And it's not sacks how you like to describe them. He was the massive taking a sack on 3rd down isn't really a sack. He's taking them on 1st and 2nd down and destroying the drive now. When you have your star wide receiver, Jamal Chase, saying he's always open, that's tension building in the locker room that you either have to pay him now or get rid of him now.
I'm just looking
Because
at
you're
the
not going to be
schedule.
able to do it.
I'm just looking at the schedule. So they play the Cardinals next at home, which you'd think that they'll win that. And then it doesn't get any fucking easier from there. They've got the Seahawks after that, and then they've got the Niners, then the Bills, and then the Texans in Houston. That's not going to be a fucking easy game either.
You got Ravens.
They could be 0-5. Cardinals
I
are the
don't.
only team
I
that
don't
really should
think.
be.
I don't think the Bengals make the playoffs at this point, unless Burrow can have a miraculously injury recovery. Their bye week isn't until week 7, so they've still got 2 more games before the bye. One of them against Seattle, and say what you will about the Cardinals, they play fucking hard. Like I don't think they're necessarily talented, but they play hard, and they will beat you up. And then the Seahawks, who just had 11 sacks in a game, so you're going to have that team. Like if I had to go gun to my head right now, Baltimore run away with this division comfortably. Pittsburgh have got a Kenny Pickett injury. He's out. I haven't even seen how long he's out for, but it wasn't good.
3 to 4, I believe. 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
Minor MCL.
And their offense has been atrocious anyway. Like they've been an awful offense, and the defense can't hold up against good teams. So that's going to be an issue for Pittsburgh. Maybe they can scrape in as a wild card. And Cleveland are the same. They're a dominant defense. Now Myles Garrett's hurt. I haven't seen the Myles Garrett injury report, but that's not good. He's their big guy. So I think that I think the Baltimore Ravens run away with this division. I think quite comfortably.
Yep.
Unfortunately. And the Bengals, you can put it down to an injury to Joe Burrow, but fucking too bad, too sad. Nothing you can do about it. If he's injured, put him on ice for 3 weeks and get him right. That's what I'd be doing.
That's what I said a couple of weeks ago. Like, there's no point in risking him at this point. Yeah, you want to be
you can say
the
about
dog and play.
Right?
But but even still, the Ravens have multiple injuries as well. We're missing 3 of our receivers 2 weeks ago, and now we're down on defense. Marlowe's still hurt. Hamilton's banged up. We had to sign an old linebacker, Van Noy, to actually just come play for us on the weekend because our 2-star rushers are out. But he's a great pickup. Don't get me wrong. I love having him there. But like Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen are holding that team together in the middle there. Yeah. And it's crazy that they've gone with 2 middle linebackers are controlling the defense and controlling that division, in my opinion.
Yeah, Ravens it's going to be an interesting run home.
Ravens looking good.
Yeah. Oh, what are we next? We're saying Ravens versus Steelers this week as well was a big game for Steelers.
Ravens Steelers, where's that?
I believe it's in. I think it's in Pittsburgh, maybe.
Okay.
I think it might be in Pittsburgh or it's in Baltimore. Baltimore. So onto the East though.
At Ravens.
Yeah, onto the East. I picked the Aaron Jets. JA went with the Bills and Georgie went with the Jets as well. If you're looking at, if we did this show last week, I think we comfortably would have said the Dolphins were going to run away with this division.
Yeah.
The way the Bills showed up and just pulled the lid on them.
Yeah, they really did, didn't they?
It's absolutely mental.
We talked about this, and we had it in our NFL chat. The 2 things that are just such a massive correlation to winning football games are generating pressure and generating turnovers. Since week 1 against the Jets, where Josh Allen, to his own credit, said, I cost us that game, which he did. If he doesn't turn the ball over 4 times in that first one, they're 4-0. Like, they would have beat the Jets easily. He had dumb turnovers that cost him. Since then, he's been lights out. He's not forcing the ball, and their defense is dominant. Also, the reports are that Von Miller's going to be back about mid-season too. So they're going to get another quality. I don't know what Von Miller is at this point of his career, but Khalil Mack had fucking 6 sacks on the weekend. So I think Von Miller's still got some juice left.
Just put him in on 3rd down and just let him fucking rush the passer, mate. That's all he's got to do.
Exactly. I think as purely a pass rusher, he's going to be, as a situational pass rusher, he's going to add something to them. I still think the Dolphins are good. I think that loss to the Bills might have been a good loss. They had the 70 points against Denver. They were up and about, feeling pretty good about themselves. Yeah. I think that team that came in and went, we're going to be physical with you and beat the shit out of you, because football's not just about running away from everyone. I think that was probably good for them to realize, okay, we can't just run away from everyone. We've got to work out a different way to play as well. So I think
they were drinking the Buffalo a little bit too much.
Sorry?
You think they were drinking their own bathwater a little bit too much through the week?
100%. I think it was similar to when the Cowboys lost to Arizona. So the Bills are a lot better team. But I think the way they came in, it was just they thought they were pretty good, and Buffalo told them, "Hey, we run this division. You got to beat us. We're the big brother here." And like as I said, we've talked to New York Jets. without as well as Zach Wilson played the other night against the Chiefs. He was the best game I've seen him play in his career.
Let's talk about that for a minute. He fucking after that safety, he had a fantastic game, man. And like I know it's pretty easy to shit on Zach Wilson, but man, after that safety that the Jets got, he balled out, man. He made some fucking good throws.
Oh, he didn't lose that. He didn't lose the game for him. He probably was there.
He did fumble the ball in crunch time. That's my only claim. Like,
but
good players don't do that.
Three refs also on the other side. There's 3 bad calls there.
I reckon the one on Sauce Gardner was PI, personally.
Oh, fuck off. No way.
No, it's not PI. It shouldn't have been PI.
Whatever it was. It was
the NFL, the dick riding Chiefs fans that completely fucked the Jets out of that win. I'm telling you. If you check underneath the refs' black and white striped shirts, they got fucking Kansas City Travis Kelce jerseys on, motherfuckers.
Well, along with Taylor Swift, which has been probably the most surprising storyline of the whole season. But I think this is Buffalo and Miami's division. New England are atrocious. They've just lost Matt Judon, most likely for the season. Their rookie first-round pick Gonzalez, who was playing so well, they look like they've lost him for the season. He's getting a second opinion on a shoulder injury, so that doesn't look good. Either way, he's going to be out for a significant amount of time. Mac Jones is in hot water. Belichick doesn't like him. Their offense
he's just a bad football player, isn't he?
I just don't think he's very. He's slow. He doesn't have a powerful arm. And let's also keep in mind, the Patriots have got no explosive players on their entire roster. Like
it's very New York Giants like where they've got
Bill Belichick's running an offense from 1991. Like it's not a good offense in today's NFL. There's nothing good about it. Like I watched that whole Cowboys game against them, and as soon as the Cowboys scored, I was like, I do not think the Patriots can score. They are not explosive at all. And then they turn the ball over. Mac Jones' pick 6 was awful. But the Cowboys, they all came out and said, we watched tape. They told us to play underneath receivers because they will not throw over the top of you because Mac Jones can't. So you play center, you play a high middle field safety, and Mac Jones can't beat him. And then the corners play underneath, and you generate turnovers, and you stop the run. It's a very basic offense, and they're just not very talented. I think this is Buffalo and Miami's division.
They're ranked 17th for yards and 34 points.
What are they going to do?
What are the Patriots going to do?
Fire Bill Belichick.
Do you reckon it's time for Bill to ride off into the sunset?
Maybe. Well, he hasn't got Tom Brady to bail him out anymore.
Well, that was the second thing I was going to bring up. The further along this goes, and the marriage split up, is it becoming more and more clear that it was all Brady and not all fucking Bill?
So, I don't think so.
Bill's defense is still dominant. I think that Bill Belichick ran a dominant defense for a long time with under-talented players, and he's still doing that. Like the defense is still solid. Like they're not a bad defense at all. So I think when him and Brady were together.
The Cowboys suck. They can't score, and they put 40 points.
We had two defensive touchdowns though. In fairness,
right. Still,
so they weren't that bad.
Pat's defense is 10 for yards and 21 for points.
That's what I mean. So I think their defense is solid. So I think when it was Brady would run the offense and do it, and then bail them all out there, and then Belichick had run a dominant defense. So they were kind of a perfect match where they both deserved the credit. The guy who's been kissed on the fucking dick by Tom Brady is Josh McDaniels. Because other than when he's been at the Patriots with Tom Brady, his offenses have been terrible. He can't make anything happen. So
we'll get to Snake McDaniels. We'll get to him.
We'll get to old Snakey. But I think it's Buffalo and Miami's division. I think both of them. I want both of them in the playoffs. I think they'll
both be playoff teams for sure.
They're almost the 2 best teams in the AFC, Buffalo and Miami at this point.
Pretty much. Yeah, along with the Chiefs. Yeah.
So that's where we're at there.
So let's get to the South then. The dirty South, which is, we said it when we did our pre-show. It could be anyone's division.
Yeah.
We all had the Jags, but we weren't sure if the Jags were going to do it. They should do it, but we weren't sure. Every team is 2-2.
Yeah.
Do you want my fuck you fight me for this division?
Go on.
The Houston Texans are winning this fucking division.
Wow.
I'm telling you, they are CJ Stroud. Like quickly on Anthony Richardson, playmaker. He still could win Rookie of the Year. Everyone who laughed at me for that prediction, fuck off. Like he's not going to win. I don't know yet. I think CJ Stroud's going to win it. CJ Stroud
is 17 games. He's going to win the Rookie of the Year.
he is safe as houses. CJ
Yeah.
Stroud. He doesn't make mistakes. Nico Collins is all of a sudden a good wide receiver in the NFL. Who would have thought when you get a good quarterback and a good O-line, and then their offensive coordinator, and I watched some clips on him on today. I actually watched a ton of stuff on the Texans today. He is an ex-49ers passing game coordinator. So everything they do revolves around throwing the football, which suits them. They have good receivers. They're solid around the board. The tight end from Dallas, whose name slips my mind right now, Dalton Schultz is a solid tight end. But Stroud, quick release. He can make plays he can throw the ball off any platform. He can be pressured, and and he's accurate in almost any situation. Now, I think if he can continue that, Jacksonville have not convinced me at all. And it's not Lawrence's fault. It just seems like the team cohesion's not there, but it wasn't there last year, and then they turned it on late and came on so that they still could. And then the Colts, who have got Anthony Richardson, so really when you play them, anything could happen with a dude like that. Like, he can just make plays. He can win games for the Colts, and he's won a couple of them. And then the Titans, who are tough as nails.
Donald?
Yeah.
Did you see the hit Richardson took from Donald and literally threw the ball on a dime?
Yeah. The problem he's going to have is can he stay healthy? That's going to be It's
going to be Andrew Luck 2.0
because he'd already missed one game of the 3 for concussion.
Imagine Taylor in that offense with him.
And reports are that Taylor is back training.
Training this week. Yep.
Okay.
So he's eligible to play from not week 5, week 6. He's eligible to play.
Are they going to play him though?
You'd think so. Like, he has to play. Taylor has to play.
I think he's sort of seen not the writing on the wall, but he sees that this team might be all right. He might play and actually get some value and actually get seen being better. If he just comes
a free
out
agent next year, he has to play. If he sits out, he'll have no value. He'll get Saquon Barkley. He'll get less than Saquon Barkley did this year if he sits out. He needs to come back, show he's still got everything in the tank. So then next year he gets a big contract. That's what he's got to do now. Or show what he's got for the next 3 weeks. So then someone goes before trade deadline. Maybe a playoff team, like maybe Pollard breaks his leg or something, touch wood, someone like that. Like McCaffrey gets hurt and the 49ers go, fuck it, let's go and get Taylor.
Yeah.
Let's bring him in. You don't know. Like, he needs to play to show that he can play. Otherwise, he's never going to get anywhere. But this is the hardest division in football right now because I don't think any of them are exceptional teams, but I think they're all kind of good. Like, say what you want about the Tennessee Titans. They're tough as nails, and Derrick Henry's a good player.
Yeah, Derrick Henry's still good. Yeah, he's still running the ball.
He's playing really well.
Yeah,
like they're solid. So I just don't think there's any bad teams there.
Smash them, man.
Yeah, and I think is I don't trust any of the teams, but I also don't trust any of them. So one of them's going to come good.
Yeah.
I still don't think we'll get 2 teams from this division because they'll beat up on each other, and they're not consistent. But man, if I could pick one of them now, I'd take Houston purely because of CJ Stroud. And when we do some award stuff later, I can't see a world. If CJ Stroud plays close to this for the next 14 games, he's going to be Rookie of the Year in a landslide.
He's going to win in a landslide, bro.
Bijan Robinson could rush for 3,000 yards and Stroud will still win it because quarterbacks will win these awards.
Yeah, they love the quarterbacks. You're not wrong there.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be really good. But yeah, tough division, good to watch. This is one we thought was going to be dog shit, but they're all 2-2 for the 4-week mark, and let's see how it plays out.
It's coming down to last week, which is going to be awesome. AFC West, Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, Broncos. I had the Chiefs. You guys had the Chargers.
Yeah, I've been a bit disappointed.
I'm still not out on it. I'm still not out on the Chargers. If the Chiefs had lost that game on Monday night, they're both 2-2.
Yeah.
But the Chiefs are only a game up on them, and they've got to play each other twice. Like I still don't think
Chargers,
it's that. They haven't looked
Chargers
great, but Herbert's played really well the last 2 games. I actually think that
he's literally batting them out.
I can't remember the Chargers coach's name. That's how much I can't. Staley. I think he's in real strife.
He's going to go.
Yeah, if it's not for Herbert the last couple of weeks winning games for them, he's done. His clock management's atrocious. His play calling's garbage. He's a defensive coordinator that doesn't call good defense, that doesn't run a good defense. So, yeah, we'll just have to see. But it's like, just quickly, we can scrap out Denver. I don't care if they came back and beat the Chicago Bears. Like, they're no good.
Oh my God, how bad is Chicago? How do you lose that game from there, man? What do they have,
Turnovers.
183 or
I
something?
love it. They got 1 and 2. They got pick 1 and 2, but no team's going to want to go to that team. And I was speaking to Brock about it the other day. You can have number 1 picks, but it doesn't mean you're a good. Like you're not going to be a good team, even if you get a good player. Like
Do you
that
know
team
Caleb
is
Williams,
so poorly. Yeah, so
who's the
poorly ran that team.
number 1 pick, the quarterback from USC? He
Yeah.
came out today and said he can make more money in college
Yeah.
if he comes back for 1 more year than the NFL. So depending on who the first overall pick's going to be, he just won't nominate himself for the draft.
Yeah.
And even when he will, he wants to be able to say, I'm nominating these 5 teams that I'll play for,
Yeah.
so you got to come up and get me.
That's what
do
the
NIL is going to do.
Yeah. I don't necessarily have an issue with that. I think, like, as a player, you need to be able to control your own destiny to a certain extent. I don't have an issue with that at all.
I have an issue. I don't have an issue with him making money in college, and if he wants to go back because he's making more money, go nuts. I don't have an issue with that. My issue is when you enter the NFL, there's a draft. It's stiff shit. So if the Bears have a number 1 pick and he's there, they need to draft him and then go. If anyone wants him, come and give us a fucking crap load for him. But I think he needs to accept that. But again, if I was a quarterback in college, the Chicago Bears have never, ever, ever had a good quarterback. They've had 1 Pro Bowl quarterback in their entire history. It was a weird dude that wore glasses that was the quarterback for the 85 when they won the Super Bowl.
No,
Jim McMahon. Jim McMahon.
Cutler?
They've had 1 Pro Bowl quarter. No, Cutler was never Pro Bowl, I don't think.
Really?
Oh, maybe he might have been, actually.
He surely
Maybe
got
it's
a Tyler
All-Pro.
Huntley sort of spot. Yeah, All Pro makes sense. He would have got a Tyler Huntley sort of spot when he was good.
Sorry, they've had Jim McMahon. So Cutler never made Pro Bowl.
Really?
They've had Ed Brown and Billy Wade in the 50s and 60s, then Jim McMahon in 85. Their only other Pro Bowl quarterback in 2018 was Mitch Trubisky. He was the 7th alternate.
Yep.
And that's the problem with Pro Bowl. Like you can,
It's
12
a shit
quarterbacks
stat.
make it every year.
Pro Bowl's a fucking joke anyway.
Yeah,
It's like,
but that's what I mean.
like,
They've only had 1. Mitch Trubisky's the only guy since 1985 to make a Pro Bowl, and everyone makes the Pro Bowl. Like, how did Justin Fields not make it last year as a 15th alternative in the NFC? Like, there was so many of them. Tyler Huntley made it in the AFC. Like,
Tyler Huntley was there.
Pro Bowl QB. That's what I mean. Like, either way, talking of the West, it's Chiefs and Chargers. I think the Chargers will be the wild card. Chiefs will win the division. I just think they're a bit strong. But I also think Josh McDaniels is in real strides.
Oh,
He's gonna be the first coach fired. That's my take. First coach fired will be Snake McDaniels for sure.
Fuck. Do you reckon we're going to have a... Well, I think it's going to be the Bengals head coach, not Zach Fisher, Zach Taylor. I think it's going to be Zach Taylor. Like, say the Bengals lose the next 2 games, right, and they're out of the playoffs. They're 1-5. Tell me they're not going to go, well, you know what? Taylor's a shit coach. Burrow's hurt. Let's put Burrow on ice for the rest of the season, or until he's healthy. We'll rest him. We'll tank. Get a top 10 pick. Load up another talent, and then we'll roll next year with a new coach with this. Like, if they fired him, any offensive minded candidate would love to go to the Bengals and work with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Boyd, Higgins. Like, you could sell it on that and work off that. I don't know.
He's contracted at 2026, Zach Taylor.
Yeah, the Raiders hate firing coaches when they're under contract. The Bengals. Yeah.
He's going to be the next Marvin Taylor.
Yeah, like I'm not big on firing coaches anyway. I think if they've still got the team, there's no point getting rid of them unless there's like something better. I think a lot of times people are like, our team's crap, we'll just fire the coach. When it's not really their fault, then they go off to another team and they end up being good coaches still. So you've got to make sure if he's lost the team, if Taylor's lost the team and the Bengals players don't want to play for him anymore, that's why. And it's what happened with the Cowboys with Jason Garrett, that he'd lost the team. The team were all whinging about him and complaining. We haven't heard anything of that out of the Bengals yet, but like there's been no rumors of it. So who knows?
It's coming.
We are hearing that in Vegas that they're not very happy with.
Yeah, like I said, did you see the video of Mark Davis arguing with the fans because they're all yelling at him to fire McDaniels? Did you see that video?
I did see that video.
Yeah.
Have you seen all? Just on a strange note. So the Raiders very sneakily cut Chandler Jones on Friday night. That dude is off the rails. Have you seen his videos, Chandler Jones? He's lost his absolute mind. Well, they did it late at night.
I think that might be a mild case of CTE for our boy Chandler.
Yeah, I think he's in real strife. He's had some weird stuff come out today. He's been arrested for violating a domestic abuse restraining order. Like he's in strife. But yeah, I think for the West, Kansas City will win it. I think at this point, I'm hoping the Chargers will go one way or the other. They'll either not make the playoffs and then Staley's gone like by mid-season. But I think they're playing well. I think Herbert's playing well enough that they'll make the playoffs and then lose to a team like Houston in the first round.
I think their issue, they played the two teams they've lost to are very good teams that they really need to win those games. They've beaten the Vikings, and who was the other team they just beat?
You're talking about the Chargers, Brocky?
The Chargers, yeah.
They got Philly this week.
They beat Philly. Chargers and Vegas.
Yeah. So, but they've got to go to Philly this week. So, like this week could make or break the Chargers. They lose this game in Philly, they're in real trouble. And I think Herbert dinged himself up late in that game.
Chargers.
Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong LA. No,
they got the bye this week.
Oh, Chargers are on bye. Okay, sorry, I was looking at the LA Rams playing Philly. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll see how that plays out, I guess. But I can't see Raiders or Denver pushing that division at all. I think they may as well start getting ready for next year's first round pick, which the Broncos. Does Seattle still have Denver's first round pick? Nah, they surely don't. I don't think they do. I don't think they do because they've already.
What do you think the Broncos do? What do you think they do with Russ and with everything?
Do you want to know my conspiracy theory on the Broncos?
Go on.
Peyton will quit at the end of the year and go to another team. So whatever job pops up, so like if it's a Cowboys or a Chargers or a Bengals, if you've got a good offensive, like this is the problem with the Broncos isn't their offense. Like Russell Wilson's actually playing okay this year. Their defense, which was a top 10 defense last year, is atrocious. And the problem that Peyton's done is he's come out and been that big swinging dick telling everyone how bad it was last year, blah, 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 and then put up this season. So he's tainted himself. But I think he's renting himself to the Broncos. I don't think Peyton wants to be there.
Another team wouldn't want him. If he's going to come in and say how shit it was and how badly things have been ran, I don't see why another team would want that circus to come into town.
I guarantee you the Dallas Cowboys will take him.
Oh, the Dallas Cowboys would take you to be
over McCarthy, maybe. I don't know. I think Sean Payton, he's got strong Dallas connections. He's friends with Dan Quinn. Like, they fuck McCarthy. Just look at this. Say the Cowboys lose first round of the playoffs or don't make the playoffs, whatever it ends up being, right? McCarthy's fired. They go to Dan Quinn. Hey, we're bringing in Sean Payton. He's a buddy of yours. You stay and be the DC. He's going to come in and head coach and run the offense. I just don't think I can't buy that Sean Payton's that the Broncos are a long-term plan for him because they're financially fucked right now. Like the money they've got invested in Russell Wilson, they can't get out of for the next 2 years. You think Payton's sitting around for a rebuild?
No, he's definitely not sitting around for a rebuild.
No, I don't think he is.
I don't think he was expecting it to be a rebuild, though.
Yeah, I agree.
No, that's what I mean. But it is.
And be the dude.
Yeah,
I think it is a rebuild now.
I think he thought that he was going to come in and the defense was going to be good. He wasn't even going to have to look at that side of the ball. He was going to work with Russ. He was going to turn him into what he was in Seattle, and then they were just going to fucking roll. That's what I think he thought, and it clearly has not worked out like that at all.
Well, the offense has been okay. I don't think the offense has been bad at all. It's just that the defense has been really letting him down. It's hard to score 70 points.
Yes, it is.
So, yeah. Should we go to the NFC?
Let's get to the NFC, yeah. So, NFC... Sorry, we'll click it through. NFC North. I had the Vikings. Jay had the Lions. And George had the Lions.
Yes.
Hand up. All things come equal. I might be wrong on this one, boys. I think
you might be, Brocky.
I think the Vikings aren't going to be there.
Nah. You know why? Because they keep losing one-score games.
How many did they win last year, Jay? They won 10, didn't they?
No, 11-0 they were, George. 11-0 in one-score games last year. Of their 12 wins.
They're 3-0. They're 0-3 this year.
Yeah.
They lost by
they're no good. Detroit are just... They are what I wanted them to be, and I was worried about them. I still picked them, but I was worried. They are what I wanted them to be. They're tough as nails. They're talented. They're talented enough on offense to get it done. I want them to use Gibbs a little bit more and become a bit more explosive, which I think will come, as I said, they get Jamison Williams is back early now from his
because of the betting
got reduced. So he's back this week, which adds an explosive player down the field to work with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Laporta looks like an absolute outstanding pick as a tight end. He's fit into that scheme perfectly. The O-line is dominant. They can grind games out. And then what I didn't expect as much was their defense to be as good as what they are. Jack Campbell's been, again, another great rookie first-round pick. He's just solid as a rock. But Aiden Hutchinson has taken his game to another level. I know that the sacks might not be there for him at this point, but he leads the league in pressures.
Yeah.
If you don't think a pressure is as good as a sack in stats, you're a moron. You don't get football.
And it's tangible. You can see the pressure that he's putting on quarterbacks while you're watching the game. Like they're conscious of it. Like, shit, he's coming. I've got to get rid of this thing.
100%.
Really good.
So he's got 3.5 sacks, and he has. So for example, he has 3.5 sacks. Micah Parsons have 4. They both have 30 pressures this year.
Wow.
So that's 30 times where they did everything but get the quarterback to the ground. So pressure stats are basically pressure or impact plays that affect the throw the quarterback can make. Yep. So if you're close enough to him that you're touching him so his throw goes into the dirt, that's a pressure. It's not, you got kind of close and he still threw a 40-yard touchdown. It has to affect the play. So that's 30 times that Aiden Hutchinson has affected the quarterback making a proper throw.
Imagine a quarterback has a sack. He's got 10 sacks already.
Exactly. So I think the sacks will come as the season goes on, as teams get more desperate to win football games. Quarterbacks will hold onto the ball for longer, trying to generate plays, that sort of stuff. The sacks will come. The sacks tend to come later in the season,
and the weather will get colder too.
The weather will get colder. It's harder. So I think, like, you put this in perspective. Josh Allen, who's leading the league right now with 6 sacks, only has 15 pressures this year.
Yep.
So Hutchinson has twice the amount of pressures, but he's just not getting the biscuits. Where, Khalil Mack had 6 sacks in one game, and that's his total sacks for the year, which is outrageous. But I think Detroit are the team. I am really impressed with Green Bay. I think Jordan Love. I know Detroit roughed him up a little bit. They took him out. They took him out the back and scruffed him up and gave him a bit of a beating. But I still think he's got the potential to be. Yeah, I think he's got the potential to be a starting NFL quarterback, though. I think he's proved himself, and they can start to build around him now as a starter. I think it's a good sign for them that they go. I'm not sure they're going to like the next like Favre, Rodgers, Love. I don't think it's quite that, but it's a guy that they can build around for the next 4 or 5 years and see what he's got. Get some more receiver talent. They've got Watson and Dobbs who have been good. I think they can build around that and work from it. So, yeah, I think Detroit win it. Green Bay are smoky to be a wild card. I think they can push for a wild card selection. But
I'm not convinced on Green Bay.
It'd have to be the 7 seed. I don't think they can get any higher than that. But I certainly think Green Bay are better than Washington. They're better than everyone in the South.
But the South's still going to be a playoff team. They're going to be one of these one team.
But I think they'll be able to sneak into the 7 seed. Although it's tough because the Rams have been better. Yeah, but as I said, they're good enough to be a playoff team. Just going to see how it plays out the rest of the year.
Where do you rank the Lions in the NFC? As third best?
Fourth. I think the 4th best team. I would have.
I'd go 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
So like they're
Niners,
not there.
I reckon they're better than the Cowboys. I'm not just saying that because I hate the Cowboys. I think they're
I would put them on par with the Cowboys. Yeah, I wouldn't put them. I would put them in the same. I would have, if I went like tiers of the NFC, I'd have Eagles and Niners together they're the top tier, the only 2 teams. Then I'd have Dallas, Detroit, Seattle in that 2nd tier, for sure. Yeah. I think Seattle are pretty good too, which we'll talk about soon. But I think Detroit is certainly in that like they're going to win it. They're going to be in that top 4 teams. They're going to win it. They're going to win the division.
And they're the kind of team that can get pressure on the quarterback. They can make turnovers, which we've already spoken about. And if they get a lead and they can grind games out and run the ball and keep the football off you and like put together 7, 8, 9 minute drives, like their defense can just fucking tee off because they know you got to pass.
They still haven't worked out Gibbs either, how to use him. He's explosive. I think when they get more comfortable, he's made some dumb mistakes too, which I know Campbell doesn't like. He's kind of blooding him a little bit, saying if you want to play, you need him not stuff up. Because what Montgomery does, he's just an honest runner. He just doesn't make mistakes. Takes the right lanes, follows the
solid.
O-line, the dominant O-line, and just churns yards. That's what he does. Where Gibbs is trying to break it outside all the time, make big plays happen. You need to understand that if you run behind an O-line like the Lions, just run behind them and the big plays will come from what they generate.
As a result,
so I think he'll learn that. So I think Gibbs will get better. Williams back. I think they win this division. I think they might win it quite comfortably, to be honest.
Comfortably, I agree. Very comfortably. That looks fantastic. They're great.
Where we go now? I want to go this. Let's go to the south.
You want to go to the south? Just really mix things up. Okay, so currently Bucks, Falcons, Saints, Panthers. I had the Bucks. You boys had the Falcons.
Panthers are what we thought they were. They're shit.
Yeah, the Panthers are going to struggle. We know this.
Bad O-line, bad receivers, bad running. But like the defensively, they're okay. I don't mind. They're actually not. They're actually a solid defense. The Panthers. They're just. I feel sorry for Bryce Young. He's got almost no chance behind that line with being a certified midget too.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. The guy is just too small. He's too small to play in the NFL.
Potentially.
I think if he doesn't have the right people in front of him, he's too small. Absolutely. If he can't stand up and do his
guys that can sit downfield, bro. What are you talking about?
No, I'm not further than that. Like if he can't actually stand up, if he can't get time to stand up and look
on his knees blocking people so you can fucking see over them, dude.
No, but he's not trying to take off as soon as the ball snapped. That's his issue. He's athletic enough to do that. We saw him do that in college where he just runs and makes fucking plays downfield.
Problem is that the game's a lot faster in the NFL.
He's frazzled. He looks jumpy. He looks scared.
They are faster, yes, but you
watch him and Stroud. If you watch him and Stroud's tape, Stroud's poised. He's understanding. He gets where pressure's coming from. He understands when pressure's generated, what he needs to do with the ball, and he's accurate with it. Bryce Young's the complete opposite. He's frazzled. He's under pressure, and then when he's under pressure, he doesn't quite know what he's meant to do with it. Also, keep in mind, Frank Reich is a real chance to be a fired coach this year as well. He has been.
Year, isn't it?
Yeah, he has been. You take his last couple of years at the Colts. His last couple of years at the Colts and his year at he was the quarterback whisperer. That was what he was meant to be. He's done nothing with quarterbacks since then. Nothing. So, I don't think he's a bad coach. I think he's having trouble calling the offense and being a head coach. They'll probably move the play calling on, but I just don't think. I think Carolina are terrible. New Orleans with Derek Carr's injury, which he shouldn't have played on the weekend. I don't know why they told him to.
He didn't look good at all.
He wasn't right. Atlanta again, massive quarterback issues that they probably need to go to Taylor Heineke just because he can maybe make some plays for you. But everyone's going, oh, Kyle Pitts a bust. London's a bust. They can't throw the ball. You could put Randy Moss and Jerry Rice on this team. They can't get the ball to anyone.
Yeah.
So
no.
I don't know what they mean. Bijan's running the crap out of it. They just don't have a QB. So teams literally go, yeah, have fun running the ball all game. We'll just bend, not break. And eventually can't just run the ball all the time.
Yeah. We'll get one score and you will chew the clock for us.
Yeah, exactly. It just doesn't work. You can't just be a dominant running team if you can't put points on the board. Running's for when you get a lead and you have a complementary team. Their defense has been okay. Jesse Bates has been good. But, I just don't – unless they can work out Ritter and get him moving the ball. But, again, Arthur Smith, third season, head coach for the Atlanta Falcons. He's an offensive guy. The offense is struggling. When they get to the end of this season, if they have a potential to get a good quarterback in the draft, that's the prime time to go, okay, new quarterback, Bijan Robinson, dominant O-line, good young receivers in Pitts and London. Let's move on to a coach that can get a young quarterback and move him. If I was him, I'd be fucking worried. I'd be real worried. If they lose the next couple of games, he could be in strife because the team's not playing well and it's all on the offense. The defense has played above average of what we thought they would be.
Yeah.
So, and then Tampa Bay. Say what you want about Baker. He's just solid.
Yeah, he looked okay on the weekend, didn't he? He actually looked all right.
No, watch your tone, George. I saw what you said in the group chat 2 weeks ago. You said he's fucking shit when he was playing your Eagles. He's a good quarterback.
Hey,
this is why I said they'll win the division.
Calm down. He threw 3 TDs against the Saints. He looked half decent against a shit team. Put him against a decent
Saints. The Saints are not a bad defense. The Saints are not a bad defense at all. I think. Do you know what Baker is? So there's quarterbacks, right, that are you're either a tractor or a trailer. So a tractor quarterback is like a Mahomes, Burrow last year, a guy that you can put anyone, like Tom Brady is the ultimate guy. You can put anyone around him and he'll be successful because he'll drag the fucking trailer of the team with him. Baker's a really good trailer. He's a top tier trailer quarterback, which means that if you got some good trucks around him, pulling him along, like a good O-line, a Mike Evans, a Godwin, a team that's got some talent, he can go, this is the system, this is how you run it. He's smart enough, he's got enough talent, he's athletic enough to go, this is my system. Now, against the Eagles, it broke down. The system wasn't working. So he failed, and he will if that happens. But if they're playing crappy teams, he will beat up on crappy teams because he does the right thing. He's safe with the ball. He doesn't, other than the Eagles, that's the only game they've had a turnover in. They're smart, and you know what?
Would love to have him.
Yeah, and you know exactly. And the defense for the Bucks, I forgot that they got some dudes on that defense. Like they got White's good, Levante David's good. Anton Winfield at safety's playing really well. They're not as bad as I thought. Now it's a weak division. I think this is probably the weakest division in football, the South.
Yeah.
I still think Atlanta can work it out if they can find some spark for that offense other than Bijan. I think they can. But I think at this point with Tampa Bay 3-1, they just beat Atlanta the other week. I think Tampa are the team to beat right now, obviously because they're on top. But I still think the Falcons and Saints could easily drag this back, and Tampa Bay could easily go on like a 4-game losing streak. It wouldn't shock me in any way. So I don't think that overly talented Tampa Bay.
I think the health of Derek Carr is going to decide this division, I think.
Yeah. Have Tampa Bay got a bye this week as well?
They must.
Yeah, they do. They're going to buy. And then like New Orleans have got New England this week. I think New Orleans should beat New England at home. But it's also, tell me if I'm crazy, that's a Bill Belichick win game. Going to New Orleans and beat a team that you're not meant to beat, sort of deal. But like
they bring in Zappy. They bring in Zappy.
Yeah, we got to wait and see.
I don't know. Won't. Surely they can't go Mac Jones.
They fucking cut Bailey Zappi. They cut him 4 weeks ago, and now they've brought him back. Like, why did they cut him?
Yeah. Bill Belichick looked like a disappointed father when he threw that pick across field.
Yeah, he did.
Belichick. Do you feel like they had another plan when they cut Zappy? I think they cut him and there was some sort of trade or something going on with another quarterback. Do you reckon there was something happening?
And Mac Jones as best they can. Mac Jones is terrible.
He's not a good quarterback. I don't know. That's what I was thinking the other day. Like, was there a plan that then fell through? And then they were like, all right, Bailey, you can come back now. So people were like, oh, they cut him for the contract.
Who are the available free agents right now?
Carson Wentz, Big Dick Nick, Matt Ryan. I'm sure Phillip Rivers will come back from having his 50th kid. Matt
Ryan won't come back. Matt
Nick
Ryan
Foles would be good. Would be good in New England. He'd look great.
Nick Foles had one good year. Let that sink in. And one good year and one good third of a year when he won a Super Bowl.
He's better than fucking Nick
Foles would be good at the Jets, if anywhere.
He would be good at the Jets. I agree, actually. He would.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Let's go to the West. 49ers, Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals. I had the West. We all had the 49ers.
Yeah.
And they're 4-0. I don't think we have to talk much about the 49ers. If McCaffrey stays healthy, they're running away not only with the division, but they're winning the NFC. Like
I think that's a pretty fair statement.
McCaffrey's unbelievable now.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And then Ayuk, Deebo Samuel's not even playing well, but they don't even have to throw the fucking ball. Like Ayuk's playing outstanding. Kittle, everyone's like, oh, he's so overrated. He's a bad tight end. Watch that guy block and tell me he's a bad tight end. He's a football player. That's what Kittle is. That's where he gets paid because he's an athletic Jason Witten. It's unbelievable. Yeah. He blocks like an O lineman. So he's valuable. That team's well built. It's well coached. The defense is playing really well. I cannot see a world unless McCaffrey is injured, which we never hope for or bet against or bet for.
I hope not.
Yeah, I think they win that division, and I think they win the NFC if McCaffrey's healthy. I just can't see it. They have the Cowboys this week at Dallas. I genuinely think they are going to kick the living shit out of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm scared for your team.
Dallas defense at home is good. Dallas defense will be good.
Dallas defense is good against crappy football teams.
Yeah.
The 49ers are not a crappy football team.
They might be
the best against teams that are just going to throw the ball to the defense. That's what.
Yeah, they need to generate turnovers. Brock Purdy doesn't turn the ball over. You know what?
Yeah.
they'll have 3 and outs overturning the ball over and say, you score on our defense. And the Cowboys can't. Anyway, Cowboys can't score in the red zone. They're the worst. They go to the red zone more than any team in the NFL and can't score. Am I getting flashbacks to the 2015 Green Bay Packers? Yes, I am. But the West. Can I just say one thing on Arizona?
Yeah.
They play fucking hard, man. They play fucking hard. I don't think I've been more surprised by a team this year than the Arizona Cardinals because
their net points at -14. They're not terrible.
They should have beaten the Giants in that second game. They shit the bed in the second half. They should
have won the first game against Washington.
Yeah, they play hard. They're fun to watch. They absolutely took it to the 49ers on the weekend as well. They are not a bad. Anyone playing the Arizona Cardinals should be like, fuck, these guys are going to beat the shit out of us. They are not going to lay over and just let them beat them.
You actually have to beat them. Yeah, they won't lose to them.
So credit to them because they were the laughing stock of fucking the NFL. So well done to the Cardinals. The Rams
0-17.
Yeah, I think I had them winning once, and it wasn't against the Cowboys. I promise you that.
if they won one of those 2 games, if they didn't shit the bed against the Giants and they won that game, they're fucking 2-2.
Yeah. And with the Rams, I've got one name to say for the Rams: Puka Nacua. Where the hell did this dude come from? Leading the league in receiving yards, he's broken every rookie receiving record for the first 4 games of a season in the history of the NFL. No one, Anquan Boldin second in the other categories with receptions, receiving yards. Only thing he hasn't broken is touchdowns. He's awesome. And you know what we did say in the preseason? Credit to all of us. If Stafford was healthy and good, the Rams have a chance. And Stafford's been healthy now until the weekend. He's a bit dinged up now, which is going to be the problem for them. And it's why I don't think this miraculous season is going to continue to be a playoff team. But they're fun. They're fun, and they found a guy. If you told me Puka Nacua would be leading the league in receiving after the first 4 games,
he's getting a lot of reps because obviously he's very good. He's getting a lot of reps because Cooper Kupp is not playing, so that's part of it too. But
he's made Cooper Kupp expendable.
Yeah.
He's made Cooper Kupp expendable. So,
I don't know about that, James. Won a Triple Crown 18 months ago.
Yeah, he's a 29-year-old wide receiver too, coming off 2 bad injuries.
Yeah, I don't think the Rams. This is a tough division. I don't think the Rams can come out of this division.
Nah.
No way.
Seattle, they've been what I kind of thought they would be. Tough, well coached. Pete Carroll's an outstanding coach.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he's just a really fucking good coach. He just finds a way. Kenneth Walker's been really good for them. They're also playing without their 2 starting tackles. They're 2 young, really good tackles. Yeah. So they should get them back in the next couple of weeks. I think Seattle are a clear wildcard team. I think they're a clear kind of 4th, 5th best team in the NFC. I think they're really good. I think the only thing that's going to hurt them is they're going to have to play the 49ers twice, and that's tough. Bobby Wagner's been really good for Seattle too. And Jordan Brooks, the middle linebacker, he tore his knee in the second last game of the season last year, and he's back playing.
Yeah, machine.
He's played since round 1. That's he had the same injury as Von Miller later in the season, and he's back before Von Miller.
Yeah,
that's amazing. That's fantastic.
He's
unbelievable. Yeah. He just got a bit of go about him. So. Yeah, I think, but for me, San Fran and Seattle will come out of this division for sure. I think we're both pretty safe with those predictions.
Yep, agreed.
So let's get to it. Let's get to
last but not least
the grudge match here, the East.
I don't think it's a grudge
Eagles,
match.
Cowboys, Commanders, Giants.
Do you know what the scariest thing about the Dallas Cowboys are? They're exactly what I thought they would be. This is what they are. They're exactly what I expected them to be. They are a boring, unexplosive offense. Now you can say, "Oh, that's Prescott." Whatever you want to use excuse, but they're not explosive. They don't score in the red zone. They don't score touchdowns. They're defensively really good. Is what we thought they would be.
Yep.
And they'll probably win 10 or 12 games. They'll beat the bad teams. They'll split their games against the better teams in the league. Yep. And they'll probably win 10 to 12 games and make the playoffs, and they'll lose in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's what they are. We know that. I'm a Cowboys supporter, and I know that.
You're right, because in the playoffs, you need to fucking score points. And if you can't
Yeah.
score, you can't win in the playoffs.
And McCarthy's got no fucking balls. And when he chooses to have balls and go for it on 4th down and make big calls, he does it at the wrong times. Like, he yings when he should yang all the time. Like, against Arizona, we got down, it was an 8-point game. And it was 4th and 8 from the 10 or something. And he went for it and they didn't get it. He should have kicked the field goal and made it a 4-point game. Then when they scored the touchdown, they didn't need to go for 2 because they would have already been in the lead. Like, you take the points there to make it a 1-score game and put the pressure back on Arizona, who aren't a bad team, who aren't a good team with a bad quarterback. You put it back on them, and then the defense goes, "Hey, we're only a stop away from winning this football game." Where he said he goes for it, then you come down later again, and then then he kicks a field goal later. But by that point, now you've got to go for it. When you've gone for it the first time, you've got to go for it the second time because you can only take those 3 if you're taking them all the time. So then you take your 3. If you're taking the 3 the first time, the 3 the second time, it's a 2-point game. Then you get in chance. Then you're a kick away from winning the game when you get the ball back again. But he just doesn't. I don't know. He's like analytically fucking autistic. I don't understand.
He's always had those issues, though. Those game management, clock management. He's always had those issues, man. Like even in Green Bay, he had those issues too. Like
I don't think he's a good football coach. I don't. I think the Cowboys are talented. I think they're very skilled. Funnily enough, Tyron Smith is injured. The first 2 games Tyron Smith plays, the offense is humming. He gets injured. We struggle a little bit. The Arizona game, not having Zach Martin, Tyler Biadasz, and Smith was really tough.
Yeah.
There's probably not a lot of depth there. But then again, they absolutely beat up on New England with a couple of backups as well. Well, I think Zach Martin being back just makes such a huge difference for them.
Of course it does, bro.
Can we just talk about New York for a second, Georgie?
I've been waiting for this all week. Go on.
Fuck the Giants. Fuck you, New York.
Across the board, they are just a terrible, terrible football team, aren't they?
Oh, we got Darren Waller, though. Yeah, you can't throw it to him. Like, they could have beaten Seattle. Daniel Jones throws a pick 6.
Yeah.
On 1st and goal, he throws a pick 6 from the 4.
Yeah. That was so
what
bad.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
You just cost him the game. I think Brock's headphones are no good.
That's okay, Brocky. We'll just continue without you, bro. You keep going.
We're just proving how valuable you are to our show, Brock.
Wow.
I think New York are terrible. Just terrible, terrible. And I'm so happy because Brian Dable, it's probably not all his fault, but when he won Coach of the Year last year, it fucking pissed me off. Like, he didn't deserve to be Coach of the Year. Like, Coach of the Year just seems to go to the team that was crap the year before that now isn't crap anymore. Like, that's what it seems to be every single season.
But not even, you don't even need to be good. You just got to be less shit, and we'll give you
exactly. And then you get it. Like, it should go to people who actually turn around good teams and actually have good teams. I think Washington are probably the surprise package of the NFC East. Though.
Very surprised at how well, especially like Sam Howell. That game on the weekend against the Eagles, I've not watched that game, obviously. He tore our fucking secondary to shreds. I mean, we played like shit. Like, really, we were lucky to win that game. We almost shit the bed at home. We were lucky to win that game.
Can I say one thing on that game? Riverboat Ron is dead. He should have gone for 2. He should have gone for 2 when he tied it up with 0 seconds left.
Yeah.
I don't know why he didn't go for 2. He could have just won the game then and there. He had him on the ropes. He's a fucking moron. Yeah. And that old Riverboat, old Ron Rivera would have gone for that and probably won the game. At least then if you lose the game, you're like, fuck it, we lost it.
We tried to win, And no one would have bagged you. It's Philly in Philly. Like, you're going for the win. Good for you. Like,
we can hear you, Brock, just so you know.
Say something, Brocky.
He can't hear us. We can hear him, though. I don't know. And then I guess last one in here is Philly. Like, I don't know. They're pretty good.
I mean, I'm still not 100% convinced on the Eagles. I mean, obviously, I'm like, maybe I've got a bit of PTSD, but I'm not 100% convinced. Look, we are 4-0, but I think a lot of it is just like our talent. Just because we're just so talented, our talent is getting us across the line in games. Like that game against the Redskins on the weekend. Like, if that game was in Washington, we'd probably lose that game. Like,
I think if he goes for 2, you lose it. I think he had a chance to win it, and he didn't take his chance.
Yeah.
I don't know. Philly, they don't seem the same, but there's, we talked about it at the very start of the show.
I think the two coordinators changing has been a lot more an issue than people have realised.
No one liked Gannon. No one liked Gannon, and he's gone and done a really good job at Arizona so far. So,
Yeah.
I think the thing with Philly though, what's going to stand out come as the season rolls on, like they're 4-0 already, like they haven't lost a game yet. I know they've had a couple of scares, but their offensive line and defensive line is what's going to be the difference. Because the O-line is unbelievable. Jordan Mailata has been almost the best left tackle in football this season.
Yeah.
He's been
that O-line
incredible.
is fucking humming, bro. Absolutely
They're really
humming.
good. And Swift, surprise, surprise, when you run behind an O-line where you don't know. You just take. He's talented enough to just take what they give him.
Yeah.
Like,
and
it's the Miles Sanders rule.
The big play will come, and that's what happens.
Yeah. He just keeps doing it. And then Hurts is obviously Hurts. He's a really solid player that runs a good offense, plays with a chip on his shoulder, plays hard, runs hard. Like he's hard to not like Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, man, he's a working class player, mate. Good on him.
I want to not like Jalen Hurts, but I can't. I just like him.
Of course, you want to not like him.
Yeah, but I just like him. He's a very likable dude. Good leader, strong leadership skills. He's fun. So I think Philly are really good. I still think I think Cowboys and Philly both make it out of this division. I also think the Cowboys have a chance to improve the offense as the season goes on. It's not all necessarily doom and gloom for them.
I think the Eagles are the same. I think they've got a chance to improve their offense too as the season goes on.
I still think Philly and Cowboys and 49ers are all Super Bowl contending teams. I think if they can make the playoffs and things go their way, they could all be a Super Bowl team. I think that. And I think there's probably 8 teams this season that could do that. Detroit in the NFC, I'd say Philly, Cowboys, Detroit, San Fran, and probably not Seattle. They need a lot to go their way. I think there's probably those 4 teams in the NFC, and then in the AFC, Buffalo, Miami, Baltimore, Kansas City are all teams that can win a Super Bowl. I think there's probably 9 teams that I think are really solid contenders once playoffs come. But again, long season, injuries are going to play a part. Unfortunately, it's just going to be, can these teams stay healthy and get right? You know, the Eagles are 1 injury away to Lane Johnson or Mailata from being in strife, like the Cowboys are with Tyron Smith at the moment. The difference between starters and backups is massive in the NFL. It's massive. So, is Brocky back?
Usually the healthiest team will be the one that wins the Super Bowl, usually.
100%. Oh, Brocky doesn't know we can hear you.
Brocky, you there?
He's there. I don't think he can hear us. He doesn't know we can hear him. Anyway, we'll digress. Let's do some awards. Let's do some just quickly. I just want to quickly go through the awards for the season.
Please.
Let's do. I'm just going to get up. Sorry, I'll get up our. We've
if
lost
you can
our
hear me,
host.
I'm just trying to fix my sound, boys.
Okay, cool. Brocky's just having some sound troubles. First time being remote. So, all right. So we've got. Let's start with Coach of the Year. We all had Dan Campbell. At this point, I'd have Dan Campbell for sure. It should be him. He's a team that's been historically garbage. He's turned them into a good team.
What's this thing doing?
I don't understand why he wouldn't get it at this point.
Save as houses, I think. I love it.
Yeah, I think so. First coach fired. We both had Snake McDaniels.
Yep.
Rocky had Ron Rivera. I'd probably say Ron Rivera's.
He's safe.
They're winning, other than the fact that he's a fucking moron. He's worked it out?
Ron's not safe. If they lose double points,
he's back.
I think
we got him back. I've been worried sick about you.
Ron's not safe. Ron's not safe.
I would say the first coach fired all of us with McDaniels and Rivera. They're all in play still. They're all 100% in play.
I think you got to throw a couple other names into that hat as well. I think Staley from the Chargers his seat is fucking red hot at the moment.
Taylor from Bengals. Problem with Taylor is he's going to get by on a technicality that Burrow's hurt. That's what might save him.
He took him to a Super Bowl 3 years ago or 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
He signed an extent 2 years ago. He signed to 2026, so he's got another.
He's kind of right though. Like if people say, you've had a bad season, it's like, the second best quarterback in the NFL is injured. Like, well, what do you want me to do?
It's fair. It's hard to fire a guy.
It's tough, but you also got to tell your GM how you want to build your team, and if you're not going to build your team right, your quarterback's going to get hurt. Whether it's
Isn't that what
training or
good
whether it's not
coaches are
being
meant to
training.
do?
That's what they're meant to do, though.
Aren't
Yep.
good coaches meant to, when they have these things, find a way to win?
Yeah,
Oh
well,
yes, they
crazy,
should.
like-
Absolutely.
that's what they're getting paid millions of dollars to do. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Comeback player, Brock had Wilson. Is that Wilson from Denver?
Russell Wilson.
Zach
Russell Wilson.
Russell the love muscle? Yeah, I don't know. How can
No.
you be comeback
Yeah.
player from just being? Can you be comeback player? We probably discussed this when you said it. Can you be comeback player just if you were shit last year?
I think so. Yeah.
No, I don't
genuinely.
think so.
I'm
He
pretty
played every game.
Wasn't Gino fucking comeback player of the year?
Yeah, but he'd been like bent. You're right. He'd been benched for years. He wasn't injured. He was just shit. So,
I thought
yeah,
it
just
was
shit.
have to be off an injury. I thought it had to be off an injury. Is that wrong?
Nah.
No, it's not. No, because Calvin Ridley's mine, and he's not coming. And you know what? Calvin Ridley, red hot chance, just quietly. And then
Yeah.
George went the safe option with DeMar Hamlin, who should be cut. He's so
Still hasn't played a snap. He still hasn't played a snap.
I
DeMar
love the
Hamlin.
story, but this
DeMar
dude cannot
Hamlin.
win. He cannot win comeback
He's-
player of the year, DeMar Hamlin.
He's taking
Cannot.
up cap space at this point.
They're going to
It's
get
that
they're
video.
gonna by one snap, and he's going to win comeback player of the year.
I love it. Brock sent us this video in our chat for everyone out there of the team trying to decide. It was a parody of the
Oh my
team
God, that was
the
so
Bills
good.
trying to decide how they were going to cut DeMar Hamlin. They were
Fuck,
like,
that
oh,
was funny.
He got posted
let's get
to
the medical.
story.
Let's get the medical team to do it. It's like he's the only Bills player to ever win an ESPY.
No. The medical team won it.
The medical team won an ESPY. They're like, oh, good. We'll get the medical team to cut him then. That's the best way out. I was
We
crying.
need a do not resuscitate list.
Oh,
Josh
wow.
That's it. No one else.
Fuck, that's bad. Defensive rookie of the year, Brocky had Will Anderson. I had Emmanuel Forbes, and if you watched Emmanuel Forbes tape against the Philadelphia Eagles, that's I'm already putting that down as a swing and a miss. I should have had the bloke from Seattle. And Scotty, shout out to you. You told me to have him. I didn't, so I took a chance. And then George, you got Jalen Carter, who I'd say is the safe bet right now.
Yeah, Jalen Carter's really good.
Will Anderson's been good though. Will Anderson's been very good.
Yep.
So, but Jalen Carter's he's got 20 pressures this year. He's got the most of all D tackles.
He's 4 games in, and he's already established himself as like a proper starter in that defense.
Yeah, he's so good. Like he's not even getting repped out. He's playing. He's like he's your starting 3-down guy.
That's what I mean.
And then Jordan
He's
Davis and
good.
Fletcher Cox. Yeah, Jordan Davis has been a bit of a disappointment.
Yeah, I think he'll come good as the season goes on. He'll rotate.
He's a lot bigger. He's a lot of a bigger dude. He's not as explosive, but yeah, he's been on. Offensive rookie. Zay Flowers for you, Brocky. I don't think the first couple of weeks I thought maybe for old Zabo. Sorry, George, you had Zay Flowers too. I had Anthony Richardson. I still stand by that if he can keep doing what he's doing for the next 15 or 12 weeks now, 14, 13 weeks now, he's a red hot chance. But I think the clubhouse leader comfortably right now is DJ Stroud.
It's clearly Stroud.
He's winning. He's playing outstanding. He's throwing the ball a lot. He hasn't had an interception yet. He's been everything that was advertised about him. So and great to watch. Yeah, Houston, in fairness to Houston, if they've, from what it looks like now, they've nailed Stroud and they've nailed Will Anderson.
Yeah.
So it's going to be hard to laugh at them next year when they don't have a first-round pick when they've got those two guys sitting in their locker room already.
Yeah.
Because they're both very good picks so far.
That's definitely a swing and a hit. They've hit it out the park with that.
They do have a first round pick. They got a first round pick next year.
They do. They'd have the Texans.
The Browns.
Cleveland. Yeah, Cleveland. Yeah.
Nice.
I forgot that. So they still have a first
That's
round
going to be
pick.
a good pick too, because Cleveland suck.
Oh
Cleveland
yeah,
will be
they're an
shit by the end. Yeah.
absolute mirage. Deshaun Watson.
That'll be like a top 10 pick. Yeah.
Deshaun Watson's
It's
going to
19
get
at
put
the
in
moment.
jail for robbery. He's going to go to jail for robbing Houston Texans.
Not yet.
The Cleveland Browns.
He'll go to jail next year after he actually takes $50 million next year.
If-
It's only like
if that
it's only
dude
like $10 million.
If that dude hasn't gone to jail yet, he's never going to jail.
Mate, if I was a Cleveland front office, all I'd be trying to do is work out how the fuck we get ourselves out of that deal.
Do you know what I'd
He's
do? If I was the Cleveland front office, I would come out and go, "We fucked up. We're cutting him. Here's your $250 million. Off you go, mate." I'd just be like, "Fuck
Mate,
it.
you can't do the cap hit would be astronomical, wouldn't it?
Who cares? It's going to be astronomical anyway. What, you want him on your team?" No, so
No,
in fairness to him, not this week because he was injured this week. The week before, he played quite well. I can't remember who it was against, but he actually played a lot better. So let's give him some time. Steelers, yeah, they won. No. That was the week before. Their third game, he played quite well. I can't remember who was it against. I really can't remember.
Against the Titans.
Titans, yeah. He played well against them. Depoy, Roquan Smith, Brocky. I think Roquan Smith has been really good, but I just don't see an off-ball linebacker winning Defensive Player of the Year, which I think is wrong.
It was a tough pick.
You have to do a lot. Like the year Luke Kuechly won it, I think he had like 7 interceptions, 8 sacks, and like 200 tackles. That's how good he was. And they were like the number 1 defense in football. Like it was the full set to win it. I had Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is still, I think he's still in contention for it. He's been pretty good. He had one kind of bad game against Arizona. And then Georgia, you've got TJ Watt, who I would say TJ Watt and Myles Garrett, before Garrett got injured on the weekend, they were both sitting in the clubhouse together saying, come and take it from us. Because TJ Watt's been really good. But then again, they shit the bed on the weekend against who the Steelers lose? Against the Texans, where TJ Watt didn't play that well.
Yeah. But historically they're a good defense, so I think they'll be okay on defense.
Yeah, I think they'll be okay. I think TJ Watt would be a safe bet at this point.
Yeah.
Trying to think who else at this point could be a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Like Myles Garrett, obviously we mentioned him. Probably not many others. Fuck, if that Witherspoon keeps playing that well in Seattle, he might. He's been so good. The corner, but yeah, it's very hard for a defensive back. I feel like the Defensive Player of the Year award has just become the most sacks.
The sack leader, yeah.
Am I crazy? I think it's just you get the most sacks, you win it. Pretty much.
It's like the
most sacks
NBA,
on a good defense.
Whoever scored.
I'm sure if you look at the last 5 years, it'll be sack leader gets it.
It is, yeah. Or intercept. Like Trayvon Diggs didn't even come top 5, and he had 11 picks.
Yeah.
Now I know he gave up a lot of yards in that as well, but fuck, 11 turnovers. Like shit, that's insane. He couldn't even get top 5 because they were all pass rushers. So, offensive player, Brock had Saquon. I think injury might pip you there, mate. George had Herbert, just still chance with the way Herbert's played really well. I had CMC. I think it's going to be if we take the offensive player award as the best non-quarterback, I think CMC's got it.
It's easily CMC.
Easily CMC. So, or Justin Jefferson's been really good in Minnesota, but again, they've won one game.
Did you see CMC broke? Well, whose record did he break on the weekend for scoring a touchdown in 13 or 14 straight games or something? Whose was it?
Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice.
Yeah. McCaffrey did that. Yeah, McCaffrey did that. 13 straight games for the Niners. Yeah, I think he's the absolute club. He's not even the club. He's on the fucking roof of the clubhouse saying, climb up here and I'm going to kick you off. Like, if he doesn't get hurt, he's winning it in a heartbeat.
I saw a stat through the week. You know, the Niners have not lost a regular season game since he went there halfway through last year. They haven't lost a game.
I have a feeling that when he was at Carolina, they won like 80% of the games he played in. Something outrageous. Like when he plays, the team he's on is just really good, which is no surprise. It sounds like a dumb comment, but yeah, the 49ers are rolling, and I think if he stays healthy, it's his. If he plays 17 games, it is his, hands down. MVP.
They're going to win the NFC, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he'll stay healthy. Simply because
that's the concern.
Fuck, you're a pessimistic bastard.
No. Deebo Samuel's going to hit him with like a lead pipe so he can get some carries again. Because since they got him, Deebo has gone downhill.
Deebo Samuel's regretting signing that contract.
If you sign Deebo in the first 2 rounds of your fantasy, you're fucking fuming. Because he has not got
the worst thing for Deebo was getting McCaffrey. You're not wrong there.
Absolutely.
MVP. We're both out, obviously. We both had our man Rodgers. He lasted 3 plays into the season, so he's definitely over. Brocky's got Patrick Mahomes, which is probably a safe bet at the moment. Although I don't think he's the MVP frontrunner right now.
No, I'm still so gutted about Rodgers, man. I'm actually devastated about
it. It was Tua.
Do you know who I think's the MVP frontrunner right now? And Brock, you're going to fucking hate this. It's Josh Allen.
Ooh.
No, not taking him.
He's 7th in yards, 6th in yards.
It is Josh Allen favorite.
He's thrown 9 touchdowns. Fuck, if Kirk Cousins was winning games, he'd be the. He's at 11. Kirk Cousins leads the league in passing touchdowns. Also, let this sink in.
He's a fucking
CJ Stroud.
Cousins, I swear to God.
I agree, but I also don't think Minnesota's sucking's his fault. They got no one on defense, but they're a very one-dimensional team, and they throw the ball a ton, which it works from. They score. Just keep in mind when we talk about CJ Stroud. He is currently 4th in the league. After 4 games, he has 1,200 yards, so 300 yards a game, 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Like,
how many pass attempts? Over 100 pass attempts, doesn't he? Like, he went some streak, so over 120 passes without an interception.
He's had 151 passes.
There you go. Yeah.
So I would say it's probably the record for most passes to start a career without an interception. I think I saw it.
I think it was like 110, maybe 104.
Stroud's the real fucking deal.
Yeah, no, Houston have got their guy. They've got their guy for sure.
He's the real deal. He hasn't even got that talented a receiving group either.
Yeah.
Like Nico Collins is his best receiver.
You just got to make sure he doesn't go in massage places because they did have their guy in the past as well.
I think they have a strict rule. They've got a strict rule, and maybe CJ Stroud's not a fucking psychopath and can just keep his dick in his pants and just go to a nightclub and pick up a girl like a normal star NFL quarterback. Like pick up one.
I've heard they put in like dinner mitts, like oven mitts on his hands when he goes out though. So he can't do anything. So his hands, they're not handcuffs, they're oven mitts. So you just got to walk around like this.
Amazing.
George, I don't know if you were. It just reminded me. I don't know if you were around when we first started playing with the Rangers. We had an O lineman, Taylor. Ended up being a fucking good O lineman. It couldn't stop holding. Remember we tied his wrists together so he couldn't put his hands wide enough.
Shout out to my dog Taylor.
We used to tie his wrists together like 100, 200 mil apart, so it couldn't go past the chest plate. So he couldn't hold. Yeah, I do. I just the way you were doing your hands then reminded me of it. Maybe it's something to do with CJ Stroud, but I think CJ's he's a good church boy. You know, like they've never done anything wrong. Those church boys, they'll be fine. That's it. So, that's our week 4. It's been a wild start to the season.
Who do we say is the front runner for the MVP?
It is Josh Allen. He's paying $450.
I think Tua is still up.
2 or 6.
Tua didn't even play that badly against the Bills.
Jalen's $850. Lamar Jackson's $12. Purdy's $15. And Herbert's $15 as well.
What's going to kill Kirk Cousins for MVP is they're not going to win enough games.
Yeah.
They're just not.
He's paying $101.
Who?
Kirk
Cousins, $101. $101.
To win MVP, yeah, that's good. Yeah. That's about right.
Wouldn't be the worst little $5 nugget on it. Wouldn't be the worst.
Cheeky little $2 coin.
Get it on your Red Cup betting. Well, that's it, boys. Brocky, everyone check out Sunday night live show with the Sporting Globe. We'll be down there. I'm pretty sure we'll be down there. We've got our first game on Sunday as well, bro. So who knows what state I'm going to be in on Sunday afternoon.
What time's the game? You come down.
12 o'clock in Footscray. So, George, you have to come down and have a look. Footscray. So, we'll be there playing the Ark Enemy Warriors, which will be good fun. But yeah, make sure you tune into the Red Cup betting. It's been terrific. Brock just keeps nailing bets. Dave, not so much. So, Dave, pick up your game a little bit, mate. Need you to hurry up, or we'll tie your wrist together too. Don't know why. So you can stop betting. We're tying together so he can't bet on his phone. But yeah, we'll tune into that. Make sure you follow everything on social media. Share it around. Obviously, we're remote tonight. I'm not sure if you guys could tell. Hopefully, you can't. I've been crook as a dog all day, so I pumped about 4 Panadols 45 minutes before the podcast, and I can see them fade. I can feel them fading from me.
You're fading fast.
I'm fading fast, but it got me through, and it was good fun as always. We'll be back in the studio next week. Yeah, and we'll go from there. Boys, absolute pleasure as always.
And love.
Peace out.
Thank you.
Peace, lads.